very much, Nancy. Next up, I'm going to invite Glenn Malloy to come forward, and then we're going to have some music by Alan Crane.
I don't think we could have asked for better weather than this. I'm so happy all of you are here. There's a wonderful scripture that has been close to my heart for over 30 years. It's from the book of Isaiah. And I hope someday as this monument evolves that somehow we can have that quotation inscribed in this monument. It goes like this: a bruised reed I will not destroy. A dimly burning candle I will not snuff out. I will faithfully bring forth justice. All of us are bruised reeds and dimly burning candles to various degrees, but especially so for the people here that have been buried here in unmarked graves. The sufferings that they went through is horrific if we read about the history of mental illness. I also am a bruised reed and a dimly burning candle, and I'd like to just briefly share my story with you. 47 years ago, I was one of the top gymnasts in Massachusetts, and I went out to UMass Amherst to compete. When I was there, it was a party school, and there was drugs and alcohol, and I couldn't adjust to all the chaos that surrounded me. I came home back 3 weeks later, confused, disoriented, and completely withdrawn. I had a psychotic break. My family physician put me in Bournewood Hospital, a private psychiatric hospital, and the doctors misdiagnosed me as being schizophrenic. They immediately drugged me up with psychotropic medications and proceeded to give me shock treatments, for which I had 160 shock treatments in the next 10 years as an outpatient. For the next 20 years, I had apple cider vinegar. If any of you have tasted apple cider vinegar and you put it in your mouth, even if you wash your mouth out with water, the bitterness of the apple cider vinegar does not leave you. But I have some incredibly good news, not only for myself, but for all of you, is that we've all had apple cider vinegar in our life, of various things in our life. We've all had curveballs that have been that throws us off kilter in life. But the good news is that the apple cider vinegar can be turned into something sweet. If you put honey in apple cider vinegar, it becomes a wonderful medicinal medicine. And it's good for your immune system, and the bitterness is not there. It actually tastes good. The honey that I've received comes from a lot of people right here today. Your kindness, your goodness, your hospitality, the way you validated me with humility and kindness and goodness has sweetened that apple cider vinegar, and the bitterness of mental illness is no longer there. It's sweet. The curse has been turned into a blessing, and we have a God that, with his infinite mercies, can do that. He can turn the bitterness into something very sweet. I believe the people here, in a mysterious way that I cannot even begin to comprehend, are very much alive right here today, right now. In the book of Lamentations, it says that love is as strong as death. Their love, in a mysterious way, is here. And I think in a small but significant way, by your presence here and by your involvement here, is sending a message that we are going to restore some dignity to them. We're going to work with our Creator and send them a deeper message. We're going to root a message that all of us are fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of God. We all have great intrinsic value, and it's an irretractable quality that no one can take that away from any of us. I'd like to close with a story. There was a farmer in ancient Israel. He had 5 boys. One of his sons was married and had five children. The other brother was single. But when the father passed away, he split the farm right down the middle. Both brothers got an equal amount of farmland. One night when the stars were out and the moon was shining, the son that had 5 boys woke up in the middle of the night and said, "It's not fair that my brother has an equal amount of land. For when I pass away, my 5 sons will take care of me when I'm at an old age. But he will have no one to take care of him." So in the middle of the night, he got 2 large grain buckets, went to his granary, filled up the grain buckets, and quietly, secretly, went to his brother's granary and poured it in his silo. The other brother woke up in the middle of the night, that same night, and said, "It's not fair that my brother has the same amount of land as I do, for he has 5 children to feed, and I have only myself." So he too got 2 large grain buckets and filled it up and secretly went to his silo and poured it into his silo. Well, this went on for several weeks, and they were both bewildered as why their grain hadn't gone down. Well, that night, both brothers got up to do their thing, and in the middle of the night, when the stars were shining and the moon was out, they saw each other in the field, approaching each other in the distance, and immediately dropped their buckets and ran into each other's arms, and in love and compassion, weeping and crying with love, embraced. And it is said that God spoke at that time in that place and said, this land in which they are embracing is holy land, and on this spot I will build my temple. Now, we're not here to return grain to these people. We're here to return something far, far more important, and that's their dignity and their respect, and that irretractable quality that they also are, like us, are fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of God. I'd like to conclude with a song by Mr. Rep that was played at the ceremony 2 years ago. And I also would like to acknowledge my incredible 98-year-old mother, who has been with me for all the time. Without her, I would not be here. And I think all mothers play a hugely important part in the enhancement of mental health. In the Talmud, it says, God gave us mothers because God knew he could not be everywhere at once.